Mr. van Rensburg, you still under oath?
Yes, nog onder eed.
Yes,
When you give your evidence, just try to be brief. Make your sentences shorter so that the interpreter doesn't lose any of what you say.
Ek maak so hier.
I will
Thank
do
you.
so, my lady.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Nell?
As good pleases, my lady. Colonel, if we now turn to, we've ended with photograph number 24. You said that door leads to an entertainment area, a balcony where there was a jacuzzi on it. That's where we ended, and you locked the door again.
Yes, ja.
That is correct, my lady.
Now, photograph, if one look at 24, one can see blood spatter there above the railing. Is that correct?
Dis reg eerlik. Dis passels was dit.
That is correct, my lady. That's blood spatter.
And 25 is just a closer.
Dit is reg eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
Photograph 26.
Eerlik, dis as jy bo op die trappe staan en dan nou weer afkyk soos wat jy so opgekom het.
That is where, when you stand on top of the stairs and you would look down as you would have come up.
And stand at the exact same spot and you look to your straight ahead. That is the view you'll have in photo 27.
Dit is reg eerlik as jy dan nou so, ek kan maar sê voor die ou deur gestaan het.
That is correct, my lady, as you would be standing just in front of the wooden door.
So the wooden door would be behind the photographer.
Dis korrek eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
Then one can see in the photograph a cupboard there in the right hand side. Can you see it there? Where the circle is now?
Ja, eerlik.
What was that?
Eerlik, dit is wat die getuie mevrou Stander vir ons uitgewys het dat dis waar sy die handdoeke vandaan gekry het.
This is where the witness, Mrs. Stander, showed to us the place where she took the towels from.
And just left of it?
Aan die linkerkant van is 'n venster en 'n deur hier.
On the left-hand side, it's a window and a door.
Did you investigate that door?
Eerlik toe daar het ek wel seker gemaak dat die deur ook, en die deur was gesluit geweest. Hy was nie open.
I tested the door. The door was locked.
And if you would go through that door, where would that lead you?
Eerlik, dis uitgang na nog 'n die oppervlakte wat aan die bokant van die, ek wil amper sê die buitekamer slaaparea was, daar was ook 'n stoep.
That is the exit to the upper level and the outside room. There is also a stoop there.
Now, photograph 28. One's now looking past the linen cabinet or the towel cabinet further on. Is that correct?
Dis reg eerlik.
That is correct, my lady.
And one can see a door. Is that a door that one can see
Die
there?
deur aan die regterkant die eerlik. Dis die deur na die, daar was nog, hier's nog 'n slaapvertrek voor daai deur, maar dis die deur die naaste aan die hoofvertrek, die hoofslaapkamer.
That is the door on the right. That is the door to the sleeping area. Daar is nog.
It's a spare room. It's a door to a spare room.
Ja, dis is 'n spare room. Dis 'n slaapkamer.
It is a
slaapkamer.
A bedroom, a spare room.
But that's not the main bedroom.
Nee, die hoofslaapkamer is na die vertrek.
No, the main bedroom is just after that area.
Then one can see it on this photograph, the spots on the tile floor. Can you identify that?
Dis reg, eerlik, dit is die bloedspoor.
That is correct, my lady.
What are those?
Die bloedspoor wat ons gevolg.
The blood trails that we were following.
And photograph 29 is a close-up of the blood.
Dis reg, Julle.
That is correct, my lady.
Photo 30.
Julle, dis die as 'n mens die trap, die regterkant die trapreëling, die muur wat dan daar begin aan die regterkant. Die bloed aan hom.
That is the wall along the stairs where what did begin.
Ja, the end of the railing, where the wall started.
That's the end of the railing where the wall started.
If one look at photograph 28.
Photo 28.
Photo 28.
28. No.
You can't see it.
Let me just correct me here. It doesn't start there. This is if you pass where he started, you make a bend. You make a bend. Immediately after that bend, you get actually the first bedroom. The first bedroom. It's not where he started. When you started, where the rails stopped, this is not where he started. It's just go further. If you looking at photograph 28, you will pass that switch, and then you get a bend on the right hand side.
Mm-hmm. So you pass the light switch and
then you get that bend
towards your right.
Towards your right, yes.
And that's this wall.
That's right.
That one can see on photograph 30.
That's right.
As well as 31.
31 included, yeah.
And 32.
Dis net 'n close-up.
If we go to 33, what is that?
Julle, dit is 'n klein sitkamertjie reg voor by die ingang van die hoofslaapkamer.
That is a small sitting room right at the entrance of the main bedroom.
Now the entrance to the main bedroom is at the furthest wall that one can see there.
Dis reg. Jy sou as jy wil ingaan, sou jy moet verby die kas beweeg en dan na regs draai.
Yes, if you want to enter into the main bedroom, you would have to pass that cupboard and then move towards the right or turn to the right.
And if you look towards your left, the view would be what one can see at photograph 34.
34. That is correct. Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
35. That indicates what?
Dis gesien. 35. Julle as u sou staan met die rug dan basies in die teen die reg teen die muur en aan die linkerkant is die ingang van die hoofslaapkamer. So jy kyk terug in die rigting wat jy nou so gekom het van foto
That you would walk through the sitting area and look back.
Dis reg.
Then 36.
Dit is die ingang na die hoofslaapkamer.
It is the entrance into the main bedroom
Vanaf die klein sitkamer.
from the small bedroom,
Sitting room.
small sitting room.
And the spots one can see there on the
Dis
tiles.
deel van die bloedspoor wat daar was.
That's part of the blood trail that was there.
And this blood spatter one can see on 37.
Dit is dis in die agterkant van daai televisiekas of die kas nie televisiekas nie, televisie is vasgemonteer, daai kas vir die hoëtroustel en die DVD wat ook op staan.
With the
That is
hi-fi.
the wall on the back of
Dis reg.
the unit which on top of which there is a hi-fi.
Okay. Photo 38 indicates blood spatter on the floor, on the tiles.
Dit is korrek eerder, dis na die ingang van die hoofslaapkamer.
That is correct. That's after the entrance into the main bedroom.
And photograph 39.
Ja, dit is jy in die deur sou staan as jy voor jy nou ingaan in die hoofslaapkamer.
So that's a door to the main bedroom.
Dis die ingang daar, die deur van die hoofslaapkamer.
That when you would be standing at the door, the entry into the main bedroom.
And the black object one can see there?
Die plek, die swart, dis 'n Winbuks airgun. Hier.
It is a Winbex air gun.
Now, in photograph 40, there's a photograph of a door with damage to it. Do you know where that is?
That is a hole through the door. This hole through the door,
Through the main bedroom door.
main bedroom door.
And it looks like one can see in photograph 40 and 41 and 42 on the one side of the door and 43 on the other side of the door.
Dit is ja die rugkant waar die projectiel dan is so uitgegaan.
Okay. That's on the right side where the projectile would have gone through.
Then we'll go to photograph 46. Photograph 46 deal with damage to the main bedroom door. Did you see that?
Eerder nee, ek het daai stadium het ek nie aandag gegee nie. Dit is nie, ek het dit nie gesien.
No, I did not see that.
And photograph 49. Did you see the damage to the door
Nee, eerder.
of the main
Ek het
bedroom? That you did not see.
glad nie daar opgemerk.
No, I did not pick that up.
51 is a close-up of the cabinet with the sunglasses in it. And 52, one can see the air gun. And what's next to it?
Op 51 hele is die windbuks aan die regterkant en dan die brille wat daarin was en die slag gesonder.
And the blue object next to the air gun?
Op plates 52 photo 52 you see the bat, a golf ball bat, blue golf ball bat.
On 52,
Baseball
it's
bat.
a baseball bat.
Baseball bat.
We'll not deal with 53. Won't deal with 54. But open at 55. What is that?
Julle as jy verby die kas die wat ons nou net gesien het van die sonbrille in die badkamer in die hoofslaapkamer in beweeg het, is dit die eerste gedeelte wat jy sien aan die regterkant, na die regterkant toe van die hoofslaapkamer.
This is the first area that you would see after you have gone past the cupboard to where there are sunglasses. That is on the right-hand side.
Now, that view of the bedroom, can you still remember that as the view you got the day you entered?
Dit is korrek hier.
That is
Exactly as it
correct,
was.
my lady.
Dis soos dit was.
That's as it was.
Now, behind the curtains, is there a door?
As jy sou kyk na die regterkant van die gordyne, die regterkant se gordyne, is die deur en agter die waier, die blink waier wat voor staan, is 'n deur.
So behind the fan there's a door.
Dis korrek.
As you would check on the right-hand side of the curtain, there is a door
Now,
behind the fan.
when you got to the scene, was that door open or closed?
Die deur was oop hier.
The door was open, my lady.
What was the condition of the curtains when you got to the scene?
Julle die gordyne het oopgestaan soos wat dit daar was. Die gordyne was nie toegetrek. Geen sisteem het oopgestaan.
The curtain were drawn open as they were there. They were not closed.
Now, before we carry on, Colonel, since the time that you arrived at the scene, did anybody go upstairs, up until the time that you and Bertha went up?
Since I arrived, vandat ek gearriveer het op die toneel, die edele,
After I had arrived on the scene, my lady,
until I went up with Bertha, nobody else entered that scene.
In the right-hand corner of this photograph, one can see a box with watches.
Julle, dit is 'n boks wat se deksel oopgestaan het met 8 polshorlosies in.
that's a box which the lid was open with about 8 wristwatches.
What's the grey object on the floor in front of the fan?
Die eerste hierdie ek weet nie of jy verwys na die eerste artikel of die tweede een.
Tweede.
Die tweede een is 'n duvet. Die tweede en die groot een is 'n duvet.
The second one is a duvet, the big one.
The first one?
Die eerste een is 'n broek, 'n denim broek.
And the first one, it's a denim trouser.
And that was exactly how you found it.
Dis soos daar gevind het hier.
That it is how it was found to be there.
Will you please turn the page to 56? Can you remember that view?
Dit is reg, julle. Dis in die regterkant van die bed as 'n mens dan nou sou voor hom staan.
Yes, that would be on the right-hand side of the bed, as you would be standing in front of it.
One can see the curtains in the top right-hand corner of that photograph.
Dit is reg.
That is correct, my lady.
And that fan is the same fan that one can see on photograph 55.
Dit is reg, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
We won't go to 57, we go to 58. Does that look familiar?
Ja, julle, dit is die magasyn holster, sowel as die magasyn en die rondes wat ons op beslag gelê het wat gevind is aan die regterkant se bedkassie.
Yes, that is the magazine and the holster, and with bullets, this which we found on the right-hand side.
And photograph 59 is a close-up of the magazine with the round.
Dit is korrek, dis nie die magasyn alleen.
That is correct. That's where the magazine was.
Now, if one goes to photograph 60,
dis nou as jy nou langs die waier sou gestaan het aan die regterkant van die bed, eintlik basies voor die deur, en sou teruggekyk het na die ingang van die hoofslaapkamer.
That would be nearer to where the fan was and closer to the door, as you would be watching to the back of that as you would have come in.
now the door one can see there, what door is that?
Die deur wat in die middel van die bietjie meer na regs sigbaar is die ingang na die hoofslaapkamer.
The door which is in the middle, or which is slightly towards the right, that is the entrance into the bedroom.
And then on photograph 61 is a close-up of the unit with the hi-fi system on it. Is that correct?
Dit is reg, en dan ook aan die regterkant die luidspreker met die horlosies op.
That's 61.
Ja, 61.
That is correct. And on the right-hand side, that would be the speaker, and that would be the wristwatches on top.
And there on the left-hand side is a fan.
Dis reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
It was not plugged in anyway.
Hy is nie aangeskakel nie, as ook die ander waier wat die op die vorige bladsy was ook afgeskakel. Geen van die waiers was aangeskakel.
That is correct, my lady. They were not switched on. That also goes for the other fan that was in the other photo.
And on top of the hi-fi system, one can see what can you see there? In photograph 61.
61. On top of the hi-fi.
Yeah, on the hi-fi itself.
On the hi-fi.
The two. Can you
We're
see?
referring to the cell phones.
Did you see
Yeah,
it?
there were cell phones there. There were cell phones was there, but I didn't concentrate on that cell phones.
But did you see it or not?
No, I didn't.
didn't see it? Okay,
Actually,
fine.
didn't see it.
And photograph 62, does that look familiar?
62 also. I can't tell about this. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. 63, same with 63, I take it.
63. No, I
64,
can't. That also.
65. Can't
Nee,
remember.
ek kan nie daaroor getuig. Daar's nie.
And 66.
I cannot testify about that.
As ook 66.
That goes for 66 also.
There's photograph of the watches.
Photograph of the watches.
It's 67.
Ja, julle, dit is die wat ons gevind het op die toneel.
Yes, that is what we found on the scene.
And 68 is a close-up of the duvet and the denim pants.
Dit is reg, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
69, you haven't seen it as it's there.
69, when the duvet was open when the photographer was there, but it was not there when, it was not open like this when we entered it first.
Okay. Same with 70, 71, we'll go past 71. Go to 72. Is that the scene when you entered the scene?
Ja, julle, wat ek hier spesifiek baie goed onthou is die feit van die plakkies aan die linkerkant van die bed wat bymekaar gestaan het. Ja,
What I specifically remember there, it is the sandals
as ook die
which were placed together,
as ook die oornagsak, die swart oornagsak wat op die bank was aan die linkerkant.
and there is also an overnight bag that is also on the bench on the left.
En die foto is 'n illustrasie van presies soos ons dit gevind het.
The photo depicts as how we found the place.
Can you remember if the pillows were at the same spot but that one can see it there?
Ek sal nie daaroor kan getuig.
You don't.
Ek
I
is
will
nie.
not be able to testify about that.
That's right, let's go past 73. In 74 and 75, there's a holster. Did you see that holster?
Ja, julle. Hy het aan die agterkant van hierdie apparaat teen die muur gelê, tussen die langkap en die kopstuk van die bed.
Yes, it was lying there against the wall between the lamp and the head of the bed.
On what side of the bed?
Dis aan die linkerkant.
That would be on the left side.
Let's go to photograph 77. What is that?
Julle, dit is as jy nou van die ander kant, die regterkant van die bed sou staan en kyk in die rigting van die badkamer.
That would be when we would be standing on the right-hand side of the bedroom, looking towards the bathroom.
So the entrance, one
die
can
swart,
see.
ekskuus tog, die kasgedeelte, dis die klerekasse wat 'n gang vorm na die badkamer.
The wardrobes there, that would be the clothing wardrobes that leads into the bathroom.
It forms a passage to the bathroom.
Dis is korrek.
That's correct, my lady.
Yeah. So the entrance one can see there, that leads to the bathroom.
Dis reg.
That is correct, my lady.
Now, if you keep your finger there, and we just go back to photograph 60. There we go. Have one more? Yeah, no, that one. So the bookcase one can see in 77 and the bookcase one can see in 60. That's the same bookcase, am I right?
Aan die op bladsy, foto 60, die regterkantste boekiekies
Yes.
en op foto 77 die linkerkantste.
But the same
Dieselfde.
bookcase.
Dis
On
dieselfde.
photo 60, it's on the right hand side, and on photo 77, it's on the left hand side.
So that is the exit entrance to the bedroom. One can see, and if one turns right, it would go towards the bathroom.
Dis reg. As jy
On photograph 60.
foto 60, ja, as jy dan as jy in die hoofslaapkamer inkom, sal 'n mens links draai en dan verby die gang beweeg.
If you come into the main
By
bedroom,
die
you would
boekkas,
have
boekrak beweeg, ekskuus.
to turn left,
Okay.
and that would be past the bookshelf.
78, that's a close-up of the overnight bag that you testified about.
Dit is reg.
That is correct, my lady.
You go to photograph 80. What is that?
Dit is die gangetjie tussen die twee klerekaste wat na die badkamer beweeg op die verpunt van die foto, die voorkant van die foto sal ek nou maar sê aan die bokant. Dis die muur wat daar draai hier regs na die badkamer.
That would be the passage between the clothing cupboards on both sides, and when we get to the wall, you turn right into the bathroom.
Photograph 81. What is that?
Dit is die voorkant van die foto is die muur wat mense dan nou in die vorige foto sou die verpunt gesien het. Wat dan nou regs beweeg, as jy regs beweeg, beweeg jy in die badkamer.
That would be the wall that you would have seen in the previous photo at a distance, and there by the wall, when you turn right, you would be moving towards the bathroom.
Aan die linkerkant is die klerekaste en aan die onderkant van die klerekaste is omtrent in die middel van die foto lê daar 'n cartridge, net 'n cartridge.
On the left-hand side would be a clothing cabinet or unit, and just below there you would see a cartridge.
So that cartridge case you found there when you entered the scene for the first time.
As 'n mens in die gang op beweeg, is dit die eerste leedoppie wat ons gevind het.
As you would come down that passage, that is the first cartridge or empty cartridge that you would see there.
82 is a close-up of that cartridge case.
Dis reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
Then 83. What is that?
Dit is die ingang as 'n mens nou by die muur dan nou so regs gedraai het, wat jy ingaan na die badkamer.
After you have turned right there at the wall, that would be the entrance into the bathroom.
And when you got there, this is what you saw.
Dit is soos ons dit gevind het hier.
This is how we found it, my lady.
Now, on the first tile, the end of the first tile on the left, can you identify that object?
Die eerste teel in die middel van die fotograaf, in die middel van die foto, julle is 'n bloedspattel en aan die linkerkant, as jy sien aan die linkerkant die tweede deel teen die muur op sy linker voorste hoek was daar ook 'n koeldoppie.
The first tile, as you approach, there's a blood spot, and also on the left side against the wall, there are also blood spots.
And the cartridge case at the left, where the circle is now.
God is Christus.
Is that correct?
Dis reg. Ja.
That is correct, my lady.
And there's a close-up at photograph 84.
Dit is reg, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
And of the blood, one can see on photograph 83, there's a close-up in photograph 85.
85.
Yeah, 85. The close-up of
Dit
the
is
blood.
reg, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
86, you're moving into the bathroom, closer to the bathroom.
Dit is reg, julle.
That is correct, my lady.
Now, that red bag there, did you see that the day of the incident? The bag on the bath there?
Dit was daar gewees hier.
Yes, it was there.
As well as the splinters of wood on the floor.
Dit
Pieces
was
of
ook
wood.
daar gewees hier.
That was also there.
87 is a close-up of the pieces of wood one can see on
This-
photograph 86. There's a close-up at photograph 87. Am I correct?
Dis reg eerder, dis die eerste splinters as jy in die badkamer in sou kom.
That is correct. Those are the first pieces when you come into the bathroom.
And photograph 88.
Julle as jy dan nou is verder so in beweeg het by die hoek waar die regterkant waar die foto oopmaak aan die regterkant. Dis waar die wasbak gedeelte is en die handdoeke is dan laas die voorkant is die was die badgedeelte en die plank en die handdoeke het daar gelê.
As you approach on the right hand side, that would be the bath area, and in front you would see the bath and also the towels that are there.
En dan is daar as jy
Before you carry on, we must just explain this. The bath, if you look at this photograph as we do, the bath is not on your right hand side, it's on your left.
ja, die
right,
bath
straight
is
in
on the
front.
left hand side.
Yeah.
Die bath
Straight
is
in
on the left
front
hand
of you.
side. Die wasbak, hande wasbak is on
The
your
basins would have been on your right hand side. But what you can see right in front of you, next to the piece of wood you can see there on the left hand side.
Handdoek was daar, die stuk hout was daar en dan in die tussen die handdoek en die muur op die foto is daar was daar nog 'n leedoppie.
Is it where the circle is?
Dit is reg hier.
The towels were there and the piece of the wood was there, and on the right hand side, just in between the towels and the wall, there was also an empty cartridge.
En as jy dan so gekyk het na waar die hout is, reg langs in die hoek, as ek amper sê die teel wat 1 2 die derde teel teen die badkamer. Ag teen die bad se kant.
As you would
Is daar
look
alleen nog 'n leedoppie.
at that where the wood is,
That's
you
correct.
would count the third tile just against the bath. There is an empty cartridge there.
Is that where the circle is currently?
Ekskuus tog.
Is that where the circle is currently on the screen?
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
And there's a close-up of this cartridge case at photo 89.
Dit is reg hier.
That is correct, my lady.
We go past photo 90. Photo 91, do you know what that is?
Nee, nee idee.
No, I do not have any idea.
Let's go past 92, let's go past 93, go past 94. Till we get to photograph 97. Can you identify that?
Dit is 'n foto van die bad wat dan in die linkerhoek gestaan het.
That is the photo of the bath,
Maybe-
which was on the left hand side, on the left hand corner.
Met die tassie aan die linkerkant en dan is daar bloedspatsels sowel as 'n stukkie hout binne in die bad.
With a little bag on the left hand side, and inside the bath, blood spots and a piece of wood.
And Colonel 98.
Julle as jy in die badkamer ingekom het en dan sou regs draai, ek kan nou net eens weet nie. Net gou terugblaai na die foto toe.
Go to 88.
Uit. Dis reg julle. As jy dan nou sou hier gestaan het, die fotograaf dan nou hier sou regs gedraai het, dan sou hy nou teen hierdie draai in die badkamer en so kyk het.
If you would have turned to your right, where it's shown on photo 88, this is where you would come up in photo 98.
En die bloedspatsels soos daar is, het ons so gekry het.
And the blood spots as they were there.
Are you
This is
talking
how
about-
we found them.
Against the tiles, where
That
the
is-
circle is going to be now.
Dis korrek.
That is correct, my lady.
And 99.
Hier is dus u dan nou voor die bad, ag voor die opwasbakke gestaan.
This is where, when you stand in front of the basins,
And the spots one can see there?
Die bloedspatseltjies teen die kant van die wasbakgedeelte, die wit kant van die wasbak. So vir jy so kan, ja, dis
the
reg.
small blood spots that you would see on the sides of that basin.
Then photograph 100.
Eerder dis die cricketbat wat ons voor die wasbak gekry het op die grond.
This is the cricket bat which we found in front of the basin on the floor,
Met die handdoeke en die bloed wat daar was.
with the towels and the blood that was there.
Now, Colonel, would you mind just going back? Keep your hand just there and go back to paragraph 88. Are we talking about the same towel?
Dit is dieselfde handdoekie eerder, sowel as dieselfde patroondopie.
And the same cartridge case one can see on paragraph 100 is also the one depicted on paragraph 88.
Dis reg eerder.
That is correct, my lady. The same towels and the same cartridges.
And if one turns to 101, can you still remember
Dit is die
that?
cricketbat wat ons op die toneel gekry het.
That is the cricket bat we found on the scene.
And between the bat and the towels,
En dan die patroondopie weer eens tussen die handdoeke en die cricketbat.
And the bullet cartridge between the towel and the cricket bat.
and the blood there, you can still remember being as
Dis-
it is on the photograph.
Dis soos dit was. Ja.
That's how it was, yes.
Then let's go to photograph 103. Just for orientation, those are the same towels that one can see on photograph 88.
Die handdoeke aan die, kom ons begin. Die handdoeke op foto 88 is dieselfde handdoeke op foto 103 sy regterkant.
The towels on photo 88 are the same towels on photo 103 on the right hand side.
Maar die badmaatjie waar die vuurwapen lê op foto 103 is nie dieselfde badmaatjie wat op 88 onder die plank lê.
And the bath mat or small bath mat on photo 103 is not the same bath mat they would find on photo 88 just under the wood.
So the firearm that you can see there, is that the position that you saw that firearm for the first time?
Dit is die posisie hier.
That is the position, my lady.
Let us just turn the page to photograph 104. What's the condition of that firearm?
Op hierdie foto's wat hier was, is die vuurwapen nog steeds gekop.
On the
cocked.
photo as it is there, it is still cocked.
And the hammer is back.
Hammer is back. Ek bedoel dis wat ek bedoel, die hamer is steeds teruggetrek.
That's what I'm saying. The hammer is pulled back.
And what can we see on the left-hand side of the photograph, just above the blood? There. Where this,
Eerder dit is twee selfone wat ek waargeneem het op die toneel.
These are two cell phones there on the scene which I observed.
Later met die verder ondersoek op die toneel het ons 'n spierwit selfoon gekry.
Later, with further investigation on the scene, we found a pure white cell phone.
Hierdie selfoon toe ons hom later nou bymekaar maak, die evidence gather en nou te dokumenteer, is dit is nie 2 selfone gewees nie. Hierdie was toe 1 selfoon. Dis 'n
Later
selfoon
on,
wat geval het en sy cover het afgetrek. So die eerste indruk wat ek gekry het toe ek in die badkamer gekom het, was daar was 2 selfone by die vuurwapen.
later on, with further investigation, when we put together that cell phone, we realized that there was only 1 cell phone. So the impression we got when we got there, it was that there were 2 cell phones, but it was the cover of the cell phone which had come off.
So, you thought that those were 2 cell phones when you got to the scene first.
Dis die eerste indruk wat ek gekry het.
That is the first impression that we got.
But in fact, it was only 1.
Is hierdie selfoon was 1 selfoon gewees. Later het ons die ander selfoon of die ander selfoon aan my gewys. Ek het hom nie gekry nie. Ander selfoon aan my gewys en dit was 'n wit selfoon gewees. En dis waar ek die 2, want op 'n stadium toe kon ek nie verstaan nie, want ek het tog daar's 3 fone. En toe sou vir my verduidelik nee, maar hierdie een is die wat se cover afgekom het en is toe net 2 fone.
This was just 1 cell phone, but later on a cell phone was shown to me. This is not what I found, but a cell phone that was shown to me, and I got the impression there were 3 cell phones when that was not the case.
Then photograph 105 is a close-up of the firearm you found on the scene.
Dit is reg hierdie.
That is correct, my lady.
En hy was nog steeds op vuur gewees.
It was still on fire.
Die safety knip opgeskuif. As jy kan sien op die vuurwapen is daar so 'n rooi kolletjie wat aandui dan as hy
The
op vuur.
safety button had been moved, as you can see on the picture. The red dot.
So, but you're saying that firearm, as it's lying there, it's ready to fire.
It's ready to fire. Just have to pull the trigger.
Good. Do you know anything about photograph 106 and 107, or not really?
Eerder 106 en 107, dis die foon wat ek in eerste instansie gesien het as 2 fone. As hulle hom bymekaar voeg dan is dit dan nou die voorkant en die agterkant. 106 is dan nou die agterkant en dan 107 is dan nou die voorkant, die swart foon.
On both pictures, this is what I thought were 2 cell phones, and on 106 that is the back part, and on 107 that was the other part.
Then photograph 108 and 109. Do you see that phone today?
Eerder die foon het ek oorspronklik nie gesien. Ek weet nie waar hierdie foon uitgekom het.
I initially did not see this cell phone. I did not know where it came from.
Toe ons begin praat oor die fone wat gevind is, toe ek gesê daar's 2 fone by die vuurwapen gewees.
When we started talking about the cell phones, I said that there were 2 phones that were found on the scene.
En dan die fotograaf het gesê hy het 'n wit en 'n swart foon gekry.
The photographer said that he found a black and a white cell phone.
En hulle het later in die foon aan my gewys en dis hoekom ons begin soek het nou. Hoekom waar is die derde foon dan nou wat ek gesien het? En toe ons terug beweeg na die toneel toe en ons sien hierdie 2 en hier is die cover af. Dis waar my fout ingekom het wat ek gedog het. Dit is 2 fone.
This is when we talked about it and we went back to go and see what would have happened to the other phone, and we realized that the other cover of the phone had gone off and that there was just 2 phones.
Maar met my eerste intrede in hierdie vertrek en het ek glad nie hierdie foon gesien.
My first entry into that area, I just saw one cell phone.
Not this one. Yeah, but you said.
Nee, hierdie het ek nie gesien.
Okay.
No, this one I did not see.
Let us go to photograph 110. Can you identify the door that one sees there?
Dit is reg eerder, dis die deur en die badkamervenster en dan aan die agterkant van die foto die toilet.
Yes,
That's a door to the toilet.
Dit is die reg.
That is correct. The door and the window, and at the back, that's the toilet.
On this photograph, that window, is it open or closed?
Die foto wat halfpad nou deur die blinder toegetrek is, hy was heeltemal oop hier.
That window was open,
The
as we can
photo
see it
was
there.
wide
Hy was
open.
heeltemal oop en daar's geen diewering, niks voor hom gewees nie.
There were no butler proving, nothing on it.
At the bottom of the door, just to the left of it, what do you see there?
Die agter die deur eerder is teels wat afgeval het van die muur wat agter die badkamer
Those are
vasgelê.
tiles which fell from the wall, which is just behind the bathroom.
Die groot wit voorwerp wat u daar sien is 'n skaal wat daar was. Dis nie die teel nie.
The
Die klein
white
gedeeltjies rondom is die
big
teel.
object that you see, that would be the scale, and the other pieces that are around it, that would be the tiles that fell off.
Now, photograph 111, what is that?
Dit is die venster. Dis die venster wat oop was
The
basies
window
agter die
which
badkamer.
was open at the bathroom.
And photograph 112?
Dit is die teeloppervlakte, die ingang na die na die toilet toe en dan die agterkant van die deur en die deur van die toilet.
That is the surface of the tiles, the entry into the bathroom to the toilet.
And what one can see on the tiles there, was that blood?
Die is bloed gewees edele en dan aan die linkerkant hier by die badkamer, by die bad is 'n paneel wat uit die deur uitgekom het.
And that would have been blood, and on the left-hand side next to the bath, that would be the panel that fell from the door.
That came from the door.
Ja.
Okay. Now, on photograph 113, one can see a key.
Dis reg hier.
Did
Dit
you see that
is
key?
130. Dis reg hier. Dit is die deur as jy nou sou staan langs die venster wat oop was, die badkamerdeur. Die gedeelte wat aan die linkerkant toe wys is die voorkant van die toiletdeur.
That would be the door that would be near to the window, and what you would see towards the left-hand side, that would be to the bathroom.
So to the left hand side is to the window side.
To the left-hand side, that
front
would
of
be the
the
front.
En dan die sleutel. Jy sal sien op die foto die sleutel in die middel aan die regterkant. Die sleutel van die deur was aan die buitekant van die deur.
As you would see the key on the right-hand side of the picture, it was on the outside of the door.
Now, we have the door here, and we reconstructed the toilet. So, on which side of the door would that key have been?
Die sleutel was aan die kant gewees.
On this side, bathroom side of
On the bathroom side, not on the inside of the toilet side.
One can see it at photograph 117. Just go to 117, please.
Dit is reg eerder as 'n mens nou van die vensterkant af kyk na die houtgedeelte aan die linkerkant is die ingang van die badkamer, die toilet, en dan aan die agterkant is die stortgedeelte.
From where would be standing from the window, as you would look to the left-hand side, that would be the entry into the toilet.
Toilet. That is the bathroom.
And
And
photograph,
that would be the bathroom.
Shower.
The shower on the right.
and photograph 118.
Dis 'n paneel wat aan die onderkant van die badmuur, wil ek amper sê, gesit het aan die so voor die badkamer staan, voor die bad staan aan die regterkant en die onderkant.
It's a panel. This is a panel that would be under the bath wall.
And the condition that's in there, is that how you found it the day you entered? the
Dis
scene?
reg, hy was so gebuig.
That is correct, my lady. It was so bended.
Perhaps the last photo of the day, Colonel, could you just open at 119? That's now the entrance to the toilet. The magazine rack and everything as one can see it there is how you found the scene.
Dit is reg, eerder.
That is
Yes,
correct,
thank you.
my lady.
Please, Court Lady, I see that it is 3 o'clock. Is this perhaps an opportune moment to take the adjournment until tomorrow?
We shall resume tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning.
As a court pleases.
Court will adjourn.